The following is the conversation with Feifei Q. She is the founder of Kindlewood. We are going to talk about the founding story, the pivot from other industries to education, creating and consuming in education, and AI assisted hybrid education models. I wish you enjoy it. If you have any question, suggestion, feel free to leave a comment. This is Steven Data Talk. And now, dear friends, here is Feifei Q.
Can you tell us what inspired you to build a Kindlewood studio?
Talking about Kindlewood, our journey started with a dragon story. And it's my 4-year-old boy told us a story by the dining table. And it's about one day a dragon ate his friend and he became the superhero, saved his friend. That was such a cute story. As a mom, I really want to keep the moment, especially that was literally his first story. So I turned his story into a picture book. And at that moment, I was using ChatGPT and spent 4 or 5 hours tuning the prompt. Finally, a very okay-ish picture book, but he loved it. He kept reading like 20 times. And that was first time he's so immersed into a story. The next day at a play date, he wanted to bring the book, share with his friends. So we brought the book, share with his friends. By the end of the play date, every child started making their own version of dragon story. So I was super impressed. Literally, that was first time I saw the viral loop of imagination. Kids are genuinely inspired by each other. And around the same time, my 4-year-old need to learn how to read and write. But I noticed he wasn't interested in the normal book. We also try some reading app in the market. I download from Apple Store. He just not quite interested, read a couple chapter and just leave it. But his own story, he kept reading. He couldn't stop. And that's when everything just clicked. And I realized kids fall in love reading and learning, not because we parents tell them to do. It's because about their own idea. So then I started the whole Kindlewood journey, and that was I would say, a longer version what inspired my Kindlewood.
The personal experiences and the observations really shaped the founding vision, right? Before Kindlewood, did you explore other startup ideas, maybe something similar to this one or different from this one?
Actually, after I left big tech corporation, and before I get into education industry, I did something completely different. I went into construction industry and kind of as a PM, driving the program of residential construction and go to the ground level and talk to field worker and also digging trenches sometime. And at Microsoft, the product I worked on is relevant to construction, like project operation and field service management. I was involved deeply on the innovation of technology solving the construction problem. But when I get into the ground level, see things in person, there was a huge gap, I realized, and particularly for smaller construction company, and they have so many tedious process, a lot of menu. And me get used to automation, get used to efficiency. I saw the opportunity. So I wrote a long proposal. I even applied a domain name and think about, okay, and I need to do something and to transform how people doing construction from planning, designing, and building. And I shared my proposal with a friend, and he has been doing startup business for many years. I would say a more experienced, and he gave me a really harsh feedback, saying, "Sometime there is opportunity, but the question is, what is my goal and what I optimize for? If revenue or growth, is it really me need to solve the problem?" And I think that kept me thinking a lot. And he suggests try something kind of fundamentally and to address people fundamental needs like food, shelter, houses, and like education, healthcare. Those are the fundamental needs for people with much higher opportunity and the growth. And so I think that was a good lesson. And like, think about me, and we're building houses and maybe twice for our lifetime, and people doing innovation maybe a couple of times. And this is not really frequent in terms how many customers will return do business with you. And so, yeah, I think I just try something totally different and realize, okay, that might not a good opportunity, or at least not something I want to keep doing.
You have a very solid background in AI and product management.
Mhm.
So, do these experiences inform you in a way to think about education and creativity in a different way?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I have been in tech industry for so many years, and particular AI. And actually, I did my master degree in machine learning, but that was 15 years ago. At that moment, there wasn't many opportunity around like ML engineer or artificial intelligence. And I think, it sounds cool, but there's no connection in between what I learned, also what we can do. But right now, it's so different. Every people talk about AI, and me in the AI bubble, even though I don't think it's a bubble anymore, and AI really changing people work, how we live, how we operate, how we think. And but that keeps me catching the AI trends, AI news. And for me, when I'm working, I will keep thinking, before I get into the education in the AI space, I will keep thinking, AI is so powerful. And what I need to do for my future, and in order to I own something, control my own destiny, instead of keep worrying about being laid off today or tomorrow, any moment. And that's one. Also, look at my own kids, and I keep thinking, what the future gonna look like and what they need to learn, and so that they can develop a real edge for their future. On a practical level, they can get a job. On a higher level, and they can be unique, be different, right? So I think those information definitely give me a lot of pressure and stress. But on the opposite side, it also keep me thinking, oh my gosh, there's so much more opportunity we can do. And I would say the opportunity and risks always coexist. And but instead of worrying too much, I would optimize the opportunity side. And so think about AI, how AI can change our day-to-day work and day-to-day life and education as well. And also think about my product. We can talk a little bit more later. And I heavily rely on the image model. Whenever there's no new image model from like Gemini, OpenAI, and Kevin, I always explore by myself and to see, okay, where it gets better and how I can solve my each as use cases in a better way. And so, yeah, I think that just give me a lot of excitement. At the same time, I worry too. But again, the worry actually motivates me to think how to better prepare the future.
One point of creativity I notice is that the source of the problem you are trying to solve comes from the people around you, the kids, and they happen to be your first customers. This is a very great coincidence. I believe it really help you. What unmet need in early education are you trying to solve to collaborate with the kids or find some new ideas or help them grow knowledge?
I think, as you mentioned, start from my own problem or the problem around my family, and that's a really great start and better than a hypothesis. And my kids literally are my first user and very convenient. I can see how they use the product, observe and what they like about and what confuse them, and help me iterate the product quickly. What the problem we are solving for real. I think there are multiple layers. On the first fundamental layer, it's about early childhood education. And take my case as example. He has so much curiosity and imagination, but when it comes to read and learn, he's not engaged in traditional books. And I noticed the same thing happen on other kids too. And not because these kids are less engaged or missing something. And I realized, and it just, the kids are not wired for consumption. Hence, the tools in the market is all for consume information. But the kids are naturally like creating. They have imagination, they have creativity. I turned consumption into a creator experience. But then why I focus on early childhood education. So I also did a lot of study and listening parents and educator podcasts as well. There are a couple of things I learned. And number one, and a lot of people thinking like preschool, early childhood education is helping kids prepare for the elementary, for the real school. It's true, but it's way more than that. It's really critical for that preschool age. That's the first moment kids form a relationship with learning. And that's the moment kids will wondering, is learning boring? Is learning exciting? Is my voice matter? Does my voice matter? So they have all these questions. If their curiosity is not being met, and they will slowly disengage, they will lose the momentum. So I think that's number one on the fundamental level. Why I picked like reading and writing as the fundamental literacy. And reading not only a new subject kids need to learn, but also relevant to their whole school life. Even in the future, they build confidence and they're able to consume information and effectively and communicate with other people confidently is relevant to longer term success. And similar thing as writing, right? Like AI, we still need to prompt the right information, the right context, so the AI do the right thing for us. And so these are super critical. And also in the United States, a study report shows by the third grade, 2 out of 5 children cannot read proficiently. And by the 8th grade, still 1 in 3, meaning a lot of children behind reading. And reading is important for their whole life growth. So I think that's why we picked one, early childhood education, and second, start with reading and writing, the fundamental literacy skills, but around like creativity based learning experience.
Basically, I also tried out the products like create the storybook for children, like the Gemini storybook.
Yeah.
Remember, but it's quite different because that one you just prompt the system, and system is going to be creative. But I noticed that your product is trying to help the children to get creative during the process. I believe creativity must be the center of the platform. What is the core philosophy you think that will engraved in your product center?
And I think that's a great question. Why creativity and why everything around creativity? Like we know AI is so powerful, but it's still human to come up the right question and imagine the new possibility and set the right direction. Then AI execute the task, do that for a human. And that curiosity and creativity are the start of this whole journey. And why? So think about, we always thinking a curiosity is the source of discovering problem. Like children have so much curiosity. They ask questions and they're wondering why. These are the things driven them to think a problem, right? And the next, creativity. Creativity is the power of problem solving. And we can translate creativity into like problem solving skills. And then they come up the right solution to tackle the challenging problems. And again, we have the curiosity, we have the creativity. It doesn't mean everything just become solved on his own. It's a long journey. That was just the beginning of the whole journey. So in the journey, we need more empathy, resilience, teamwork. Children cannot give up the first time they hit a roadblock and they fail. They need to know how to get back, how to iterate. And children need to learn how to work with other people. And they also need to learn the empathy. I think that's also fundamental important in the long future, especially AI can do the task. What connects people are empathy, deeper emotional level. Yeah. That's our core, I would say, philosophy. And that's the things I believe. And everything around the journey start with curiosity, creativity. And we also teaching kids the empathy, help them build confidence and resilience along this journey.
Okay, so I think this really resonates with the concept on your website, spark, create, and grow. Can you describe how kids progress from passive reading to active creation within the platform? Because I always feel like that we are passively, even the adults are passively receiving a lot of information,
Mhm.
right? So sometimes maybe we get lazy because there are already just tons of information to consume. But how do we keep motivate people to create in the platform?
Yeah, that's a great question. And some kids have imagination, they go create directly. For example, my 4-year-old, now he turned 5-year-old, he start his journey by a creator. And my younger one, he's 3-year-old, he start the journey by reading. And what I mean is my older one create the story, and we have the native mobile app, and my younger one reading enjoy the story, and he see his little brother are the superhero in every single story. He got inspired. And I tell you a funny story. Like one night my 5-year-old made a story, and still about dragon. He loves about dragon. Right? A dragon blue fire made the ocean purple, and no animal can survive in the ocean anymore. And Connor, the superhero, he's super worried. He need to solve the problem. And he gathered daddy, mommy, his little brother, and we get a little bucket and we scoop the purple in the bucket, take to the Antarctica. And we bring the blue water from the Antarctica back to the ocean. And the ocean is happy again. All the animals are alive. So he's about teamwork and make solving the problem and with other friends, with family. And my little one saw the picture book of this dragon. He said, "Mommy, I want to make my own story." I said, "Okay, you go ahead, make your story." So he goes, "A dragon blew the fire, make the ocean purple." I said, "Okay." And at that moment, I thought he just gonna simply copy older brother's dragon story, but he added a twist. And the dragon felt bad because no one can live there anymore. And the dragon decided to use his magic, turn the purple water back to blue. At that moment, I was just literally so excited and so surprised, so amazed by the story. It's the same start, but different ending, and 100% represent their personality character. Older one is about sweet teamwork, caring other people, and the younger one, his personality is wild, energetic, sometimes make mistake, and he feels sorry. And the dragon basically himself. So I think that's a journey. He read a story, he got inspired by other people's story. Now he became the creator. Also, he borrowed a little element from other people, but with his own idea. So yeah, I think now most of kids maybe start with reading, but again, they all have a little spark inside of their heart, and we just need something to light it up. And once light it up, the kids will just keep going, keep going.
Yeah, just one spark for two. I believe during the journey, both your kids and you interact not only on the app, right? You also discuss sometimes about how to create a story and how do they feel about the story and so on. So recently, I also noticed that you did a lot of in-person workshop offline. I believe the interaction with other users, also with other parents, other kids are quite important. Why do you choose to build a hybrid learning experience?
That's a really great question, and there was a big lesson learned. So earlier, I was focusing on the online platform. It was B2B to C, meaning we work with school partner, educator as a partner for 2B business, but also consumer parents can sign up and reading or create story on their own. And that was perfect hypothesis on the user growth, but it didn't work, particular on the 2C end. And what I learned, there were two big concerns from parents. One is screen time, particularly for younger kids like 3 to 6 years old. And parents are very strict on screen time. Some family literally zero screen time. I don't know how they did it, but literally zero. And that was the big concern one. And second is around the parenting. And like some parents like do project with kids together. They enjoy the moment. But there are also a lot of parents, they just want be free. For the older kids, like 7-year-old, they can write and they can operate the iPad, create story on their own. The parent pretty much just oversee, make sure they're not doing anything like weird or 100% wrong. But for the younger kids, still need parents get involved, and which parents don't want sometimes. They want 100% free. And that's the moment I realized, okay, 100% rely on the online platform, we will hit a bottleneck because of these two concerns. And I think about, okay, what else we could do? And so I did the in-person workshop, started with some community event, partner with nonprofit organization. Also, my own, I also have a nonprofit, and these kind of community events just bring children together. And I think what I realized, number one, yes, we mitigate the screen time and parents not free to concern, but much more meaningful moment I discovered. And I think one thing is we focus on more hands-on creating rather than the screen time. We try to minimize the screen time during the workshop as much as possible. And also we allow children print physical book for their creation, and they can read the story, have a show and tell moment. I think that's where I feel the true power comes in, and children turn their idea into something tangible and something they are holding, they are proud of, and they can tell the story. And some children may be shy at the beginning, but when they see other children are creating, they're making, and they first 15 minutes or 20 minutes in the workshop, I see some children were hiding behind their parents. But again, they were looking around, observing what other people doing, what other friends doing, and they have that curiosity comes out and start trying things out a little bit, and then proactively engaging, making more. By the end, they literally don't want to stop and they want to make more, either the Play-Doh, drawing, or the story, or more books. I think that's a true magical moment to me. And it's not only a format I was mitigating the screen time, but I realized that's where the much deeper engagement comes in and much higher value comes in for children to create, be free, and also be creative. Yeah.
I can feel that the community is actually a ecosystem where the app or your solution is one part of it. you are nurturing actually a very healthy ecosystem to help the children to learn. More specifically, I think AI is actually entering in the early childhood education. Previously, I saw there was AI products like with some educational resource providers for the adults. Now, more and more I see they go to the childhood education. So, how do you view the risk and the benefits of bringing AI to the early childhood education? Should the parents care about some aspects?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there are definitely a lot of pros and cons too. And I think pros, we know AI can do so much, and tutoring and customized learning experience and personalization. We won't talk too much about the pros, and I think I want to focus on cons and how Kindlewood and address those concerns. I think number one, and the screen time, which we talked a little bit earlier question. And number two is on the replace thinking or not. A lot of parents or educators thinking AI is replacing thinking and kids are kind of being lazy, they are not growing. I think that's one we need to be very careful how we design the system and not to replace the thinking part. And the third is around like safety and privacy and compliance, how we need to make sure there's no harm content for the children and children's information like pictures and private information, name, age are being protected, right? I think those we are following the right protocols to make sure the security and also the compliance and regulations are followed. But I want to talk a bit more on the replace thinking or not. So for Kindlewood, there are three core principles we are following. I think the first, we position AI just a tool. We make sure the idea is belong to the children and the voice from the children. And third, the thinking process come from the children. Let me explain more on each one. And in terms of the idea, and so children in nature have a lot of ideas already, and we just need to give them a canvas to put their idea into some tangible format during the workshop or the online tool creation process. And like we spark the children, hey, if today the topic is about spirit animal, and what is your spirit animal? How would you describe it? And why you pick this animal? What feature, traits, or character you like about? These open-ended question to guide the children think and what they want to either make or draw things on the paper. So I think number one, the real idea from the children, and we can provide a little spark, but the true tangible idea from the children. And during the story plot, we make sure the children shape the true story. And it depends on the age. Like younger children, they may say something simple. Okay, my cat is sad because no one played with her. But again, that's their idea. They recognize how they feel, right? And we can asking more open-ended question to spark the creation of story, the plot. But for older kids, they really type in every single word and to think about their own script and thinking, also refining. They scratch out and type again, and AI can expand as needed, but we always honor the true idea, the raw idea, the soul of the story. I think that's on the thinking and the idea side. And the third, we want children think about what is wrong, what is right, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. One story, when the AI returns some images, and they can thinking, oh, does this image meet my expectation? Something not feel right. What is that? And how would you describe it if you want to change it in a different way? So they're learning basically prompt engineering. If a picture is wrong, how they tap the prompt to make the correction. And they also need to learn the limits of the all kinds of AI tools. Sometimes just AI cannot get what we want because of certain limits, and that's the opportunity they can learn the limits and the strengths of AI and to accept imperfect result, or sometimes this thing doesn't work, right? I think they learn how to be resilient, how to better understand the AI, how to guide the AI to achieve what they want. So the whole thing is about their idea and their thinking, and they are fine-tuning the result best align their expectation, kind of entry level, the introduction of AI and how to use AI to get what they want. Yeah.
In the end, we still need to put the children, the people in the center of the AI era. If we just let loose the AI models to do their job, maybe it will be less meaningful for us. Nowadays, like people talk a lot about agency in the AI world. We hear agency in different conversations, podcasts, many times. How would you define agency, and what does it look like when you are talking about kids?
Yeah. I think agency to me, for me as a grown up, and meaning I proactively thinking something and I seeking solutions, solving problem. I don't need get anyone's permission. Okay, I just can go do it. And I think on the little kids, and I would say it's more related to their thinking process, and this is their idea. Okay, they come up something, they can probably say this is my idea, and also their thinking process, and they're making choices, pick one or the other, and go back to the story creation process, and they have the opportunity to review the story script, how AI improve based on their original idea, and they can still fine tuning same thing as image. And by the end, they are the one making the final decision, and they picking what is right, what is wrong, what feels more comfortable or right to themselves. And I think that's where the agency comes from. And they are the creator. They own the idea. They own the process. They own the decision. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, you are balancing the AI generated content with fostering independent thinking and the creativity for the children.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I also feel that you design the system actually to let AI augment rather than replace human creativity. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I think I would say for the product design for grown up, and it optimize convenience, meaning as automation, as much automate as possible and as easier as it can. But for the product designed for children like mine, we actually intentionally optimize inconvenience, meaning we leave something menu and that children to think and review more instead of, okay, system give you a script and you just you just accept it. And I think talk about the other product in the market. I also try out a lot of the competitor. I would say not really competitor. They're overlapping areas, and like storybook. A lot of them just like too convenience. They're good for parents, but it's not super good for children. We really need to give them the opportunity to practice thinking, critical thinking, right? And judgmental. And so, yeah, that's why we kind of optimize the inconvenience for the product on purpose.
Let's go to the parts of building this product. I
Mhm.
believe there may be some technical hurdles. Which are the biggest ones you have ever met? It's about safety or user experience or something else.
I would say both a little bit, all a little bit. But I think I would talk about the user experience. I think me as a PM and the nature of me, and number one, need to think about the problem, and is it the right problem? and what's the real user needs in addition to the problem we see on the surface level, right? And also how we design the right product to solving this problem. And for me, I realize like children are the user, parents are the customer. They will pay the subscription by the end. But as a product manager, I need to really connect to my user, learn their behavior, how they use the product. And by observing and also use on my own frequently, observing other people using, I changed my decision. It used to be one application on the web, and like my 3-year-old, and my 3-year-old used the web application reading story, and I realized he just tap here, tap there, tap everywhere. Here's a pop-up, and I tap. Here's a button, I tap. He taps everywhere. So I realized for small children, the experience need to be very simple and very focused. And that was the moment I separate the kids reading learning experience versus the creator experience. Like for younger kids, and they just focus on reading and learning. We have the native mobile app, nothing else, no subscription and no ads, and just focus reading. They can read story, and parents have the parent control page. They can set up profile and manage the kids, kind of what story can be shown on the reading app, or what other content can be seen by each kids. I think that's a big moment. I realized, okay, the separation of two different experience for two different persona. And for older kids, and who also create their own story, I think they are better control their behavior. They know what's supposed to click, what not supposed to click. I think they can follow the flow to create the story on their own. And similar for parents, I think a teacher, okay, they know what button does what. I think they kind of stay follow the user journey, and instead of go everywhere. I think that was the big moment I learned to truly design something for the persona, not combining everything into one. I do see in the market there's some application, just everything in one, either application on the mobile or application on the web. But either one, I tried. I was like, this is not gonna work for my 3-year-old. I'm gonna mess up. Hey, gonna click purchase button, purchase something random. So yeah, I think that's on the user experience. On the technical side, I think definitely is getting better, but again, there are still technical challenges in terms of the story character consistency. And I think as of today, it's got much better, but again, there's still sometime the story introduce a new character in the story, and the image give a random look and feel. The kids will ask, hey, why this person, why he's here? I think something like that kids will wondering, and we are still need to figuring out how we able to manage the true consistency, but also able to balance the variety of different story scene or a setup. For example, like clothes, children wear a t-shirt and a jeans, and we can keep the clothes consistent for all the scene. That's actually easier, right? But again, sometimes we want the clothes changed because this particular image about children go to the swimming pool, they need to wear swimming suits, not the regular clothes anymore. So there need to be the dynamic, but sometimes too dynamic may feel a little bit random. So I think there always a balance when we need to make more deterministic, when we need to have system more dynamic but also acceptable. So yeah, I think we are still like improving, exploring how the base image model is number one, and on top of it, and we have a lot of like engineering and different strategy how to control the flow based on certain scene or certain setup.
I can see one particular point that I noticed was that you actually did a very good segmentation of the customer group, so that the each option will suit the specific group better, not just one simple ad. Now AI is actually entering in every aspect of our lives. So, what do you think will most impact the education in the next 3 to 5 years?
There's so much opportunity, I would say, but also it's so challenging at the same time, and because regulations and kids safety concerns, and also um, some education system tie never changed for last 100 years. And I heard a talk, Feifei Li, the same first name. She's literally my role model, but she's way higher end. I heard a talk from her talk about how AI impact education, and she mentioning the system hasn't changed for 100 years, but right now it is really the right time to innovate the system. Like, I think about me when I was a little kid, I just memorized the question, memorized the answer, and you ask you say the first two words, I know, okay, that's A, that's B, and it's efficient, I get higher score, but it's not really helping me growing like in today's work, in today's society. It's not helping anything. Yeah. The traditional education system, like have the correct question, correct answer, this is the only direction to go, is no longer valid. And we need to truly have children to amplify their own creativity, and which they naturally have already. They asking questions and they like creating all kinds of different things and solving problems. I think those are the fundamental thing, and we need to focus for the future education. But again, there need to be a balance between the literacy and the creativity, which I feel Kindlewood, like more things like Kindlewood will be a good complement, work together with school, and school focus more on the literacies and disciplines and the things, and most of school will focus, right? And the history, the math, and bundle with some creativity based program and build confidence and storytelling and skills and true creator. So I think that would be the future. I'm hoping I hope the future gonna look like something like this, and also like so many kids, and with AI, we use AI the right way, and we can learn kids more personalized learning and experience. And I think more we didn't have the luxury have teacher for every children, but right now we do can make it happen. And as long we use AI in the right way with the safeguard rail.
You have been sharing parts of your building journey publicly. So I assume that you are also building in public. Why do you choose to build in public? Does it really help you to be a better founder or make a better product?
I think definitely a lot of benefits, but again, it takes time too. And so now everybody talk about build in public, learn in public, and fail in public. Everything is in public. And for me, I think I realized first, when I'm VP ready, I need to let more people notice what I'm doing, why we are doing, right? And kind of marketing, distributing the product. And I think that's the beginning of me building in public. And but it turned out I didn't get much traffic or traction from broadcasting my learning building journey in the social media, and not much benefit my product, but it benefits myself a lot. What I mean is like posting my learning journey and read article or make video is actually forces me to reflect and to think. A lot of information used to be pieces by pieces in my head until I write it down or I speak it out, make in the video, I would remember it more systematically. And also reusable content I can share with friends, I can share with another people interested in the product easily. I think that's one, a lot of self-reflection and self-learning from this journey. And second, I would say it's a way to connect with my user or audience and much deeper level, emotional level, and build more trust. And there are so many consumer product out there, especially everybody's building. But does everybody gonna have their own audience? Not necessarily. And a lot of time people buy a product, not necessarily how good, how awesome this product is. It's sometimes about the story behind it. The more they know about the story, the more they know about you as a founder. They see, okay, you are trustworthy, you build something and you truly solve their own problem, and they may resonate better to their problem, and it's easier to connect, easier to build trust. So to summarize a little, I think one, my personal growth, and number two, kind of personal brand, help people understand the story behind Kindlewood. Yeah.
Before this, you spent years at Microsoft. Comparing the two journeys, do you find the current journey different from the previous one? Do you learn something different from this experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I learned a lot more. By the end, my startup doesn't take off or not succeed. My personal learning, I would say, is the true asset I can keep forever. And like Microsoft, I was owning a lot of big project, big portfolio, and high visibility. And I work with cross-functional team like sales, marketing, customer readiness team. I go conference, present. And so a lot of learning from Microsoft, the big tech corporation as well. And I actually applied a lot of knowledge or learning into my current startup. For example, like my PM thinking to double down the problem and to truly segment the user, understand their uniqueness of each user, the pinpoints the behavior, then design the right experience for each persona. And also how I think about onboarding experience, right? And all those are the things I learned from Microsoft. But doing my own startup, that's completely new, I would say the next level. What I mean is, yes, I still need to think about the problem. I still need to think about the vision, the value, short-term, long-term, and how I position, and even I build the product for real, think about the performance, scalability, right? All those I think is similar, but what's different is I need to really hammer the positioning of the product and doing marketing, think about user growth strategy on my own and making marketing promote video on my own. All those, I think at Microsoft, I also was doing at some level, but again, I wasn't the final decision maker and I wasn't doing everything alone. There were a lot of help or things. Other people are the first owner. I get in touch of things here and there a little bit. And two, I am the first owner, own it. Now I have to really think about how I position. The wrong position, you're building the right wrong thing and you're marketing the wrong thing and no one buy it. So you have to think about, okay, is the messaging right? Is it clear or not? So I have to think of all these. It's a lot of practice and a lot of learning, and every day I learn something new. Yeah.
So during the journey as a founder, do you find something really surprised you? I talked to other founders before. Sometimes they say now you need to handle every single things by yourself. Some would say now, although we have AI, maybe understanding how to use AI to augment your ability to build a better business, maybe it's also challenging. In the journey, did something actually surprise you?
I think I posted something X or Twitter a week ago about, I think right now everyone is building and people saying, okay, everybody can build the production product, can build the product. Yes, everyone can build, but does everyone can build the production level and true product? The answer is no. And so there's a huge difference between building an app versus building a true product. A lot of thinking behind the product, like positioning problems and value prop, right? Messaging, the marketing, the distributing an app. You can web code an app in an hour or just a couple minutes, right? So there's a huge difference. And also building part becomes so easy. And we talk about build is cheap. And okay, I think people used to call before there are people saying, okay, talk is cheap. Show me the code. And right now, kind of reversed. Code is cheap and show me the talk. And people can truly talk about your own idea and craft a good and clear story about your product, other one, and can make a difference. And but I also have a newer version in maybe 6 months later, and like talk is cheap and show me the result. The result is expensive, meaning right now people are distributing, marketing, and talking their own product, but again by the end need to have a true growth. And okay, then what the success look like in 6 months, right? And how would I measure myself by that time, right? Do I keep going? Do I keep going, or do I pivot or try something different? Yeah. So I think a lot of surprise, and like people underestimate the bar of building a product. I would say it's so much easier to get into the building, but the finishing line is now never be lower. It's actually much, much higher than before because there's so many people are building, and the finishing line, what make you unique and what make you stand out is way higher than before. Yeah.
Execution is important, but keep it going is really, really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you vibe code?
I do. Yeah.
How do you feel about the vibe coding tools? Do they help you when you go to production level? You need to put more focus on reviewing it.
I would say some people thinking web coding makes something simple, not reliable, but I guess depends who web code and how you web code. And like entire cloud code is being coded by cloud code. So cloud code is the product from the web coding right now. And similar, I see the news like Spotify or Shopify, and they are using AI coding 100% or maybe 90% to writing their code. And same thing as Kindlewood platform. And for me, like I majored in computer science and for both bachelor and master, and but I never liked coding with true programming languages like Java, C#, and C++. I did before many years ago, but I didn't like it. It's kind of boring. And what I enjoy is connecting people and thinking about idea and the business. That's why I got into a product manager and kind of more customer facing role. And right now, I think web coding or AI, I will more say AI assisted coding is perfect, particularly for PM or for me, because I have idea and I don't need to wait for engineer to make it happen. I have the idea, I go do market research, I connect competitor, think something unique. Okay, I just make it happen. And the next question is, how can I make sure the code is production ready, is reliable enough? You can from 0 to MVP, yes, and you don't have to worry too much about like performance, scalability, but you still need to worry about security, right? And but on the production level, there are a lot more things you need to think about. I think maybe because I had the computer science background, I have the very good sense of system design. I first, like, there are many times AI come up something, I able to spot, okay, this is not secure. Like AI suggests, try to test something, suggest let's bypass a security role. No, that's not secure. And maybe for temporary, you can do this test to isolate where the problem. But again, that's not production. That's not the approach we address production. Same thing as performance. Like on the story page, and at the beginning there were 3 or 4 story, the performance okay. Once the story grow like 70, 80, the page never loading. I was evaluating the performance. I realized the same thing, trying to load everything, the metadata and the story images and audio file and the quiz. And of course, they're gonna really slow. Then we implement the lazy load and the pagination of approaches. I think for me, I kind of have that background. It's so much easier for me to identify the potential risks AI is exposing and make correction just in time. And sometimes AI run out idea. I run out idea, and I have the technical expert to help me navigate on the deeper level. But I would say maybe for non-technical people, if they still want to like web code a production level, there's still a lot of things, tricks and tips. I wrote a couple articles on Twitter, on the Chinese social media, and share with people. I think there are ways to navigate. It's about, do you know when to ask the right question and to prompting the AI to think more, evaluate, like code review. AI can be a security expert, review its own code and identify the risks issues. Yeah. So I think it takes a lot. It's not easy, especially the debugging and make it true reliable for final production. But I would say it's durable. Yeah.
Basically, now you have this product. If I remember correctly, you already surpassed the 100 user threshold. Congratulations.
Thank you.
About learning success, if I am a user of this app, I would sometimes try to figure out how do I feel the success. So how do you measure the learning success or impact for the kids using the product?
I keep thinking the question all the time. And all the business, of course, there are numbers, there are metrics, and people are chasing like ARR, MRR, daily active user, monthly active user, and customer satisfaction, whatever. I think those are the true number. We should care, but at earlier stage, I don't think those are the meaningful number as to me. And especially, I would say for education related product, mostly mission driven and not revenue driven. And we cannot use revenue measure earlier startup or earlier product. And it takes time to see the value, and especially child's growth change not over the night. It takes weeks, months, or years. But for me, how do I measure? There are a couple moments, and I'd like to share. So I think about 6 months ago, my kids were reading a story, and like Amo, a dinosaur character, gave 4 apples to his friend, and they heard gave this word. They tap to hear the pronunciation. There's a tap to hear pronunciation feature on the mobile app, and my older kids heard the pronunciation and explanation of gave. He grabbed the pen and the paper, sneakily went into his bedroom. A minute later, he gave me a paper, a written gave Fei, which is my name, a heart. At that moment, I had tears in my eyes for real. And I thought about the success at the moment. To me, no matter how many users I use the product, and I succeed already. And because my kids is not really learning a new word from this product, he's learning expressing his empathy, expressing his emotion, and building connection on the deeper level. And he learned from he also learned from doing it. And my younger one, he heard the explanation of give. The explanation is someone gave you a big squishy hug. I purposely made explanation of very children friendly, not the very kind of the grown up style. And the younger one saw the older kids show the empathy, and he told me, "Mommy, I give you a big squishy hug." He turned over to me, give me a hug. So that was the true moment, and just made me super happy and rewarding. And I think that's the first success to me. I succeed already. I didn't have a lot of user at that moment, but my the dearest customer user are using, and in the much deeper level. I think that was the success to me. Also, on the recent workshop, I think I told the story a little bit earlier of the session. Some kids are super shy at the beginning, and they don't know where it is and what we are doing, and they're just hiding behind the parents. But again, they have that little curiosity, and they slowly and try something, and we engage, and by the end, they're super happy, they're super excited, and they ask, "Can we do more? Can we do more?" And that's the success too. And he's happy, and kids want to do more. But if you translate in data, basically kind of retention, and the kids grows, right? I think that's the more meaningful moment to me, and at the earlier stage. And of course, long term, and the investor will care about how much user you have, what's their revenue look like, when you're gonna achieve 1 million ARR as you committed, right? So I think number matters, but right now I think I'm more focused on the much deeper engagement and the meaningful moment. Yeah.
So I can feel that like the early users are very important. You are trying to actually collaborate also with them to find a better future for the product. What are the other insights that you have about building trust with the families and the educators as early users?
Yeah, I think trust definitely is so important. It's a slow journey, but if we want to grow more, and trust is the foundational, and to win the customer and to keep customer, right? And I think trust, like I mentioned, the in-person workshop, deeper engagement, and key parent, they can see how kids show, how kids feel, and that's the moment parents can really experience the product and the workshop, and see something tangible happen, like the book, and kids from very holding back to leaning forward, engage, and that's the way to build trust. And the other way, I would say, whenever I talk to customer, parents, or educator, it's never about our product, and we cannot just sell the product or do a sales page. It's about them, their problem, what they concern about, what struggle they have, and we have to truly listen and think about it, and how we can map that into our product and they were relevant, right? I think that's another approach. We listen, we understand, not only on the surface level, but on a much deeper fundamental level. Because sometimes people say things this way, but it doesn't mean this is what really want. They may want something different. They may need something different. So I think truly understand your user and listen and respect and make them feel being heard just as much as children. Children feel really good once they realize their voice matter, and same as we, right, grown up as well. The same approach, yeah.
Apart from the like individual customers, I believe you also partner with other business, right? I recently saw the post of yours that you made a B2B partnership with a school. What does it mean for scaling up this platform?
For B2B business, I would say getting started is difficult. But once we have some successful partnership and build a successful story, it can be a real advocacy for other business. And I have high confidence and the future gonna be promising. And right now, I'm not actively engaging a lot other school yet. And there are two reasons. One is we really want the current partnership and successful first and have a reusable process, reusable asset, and also a success story. Then we showcase to other schools and partner, then we can be the engagement process will much easier, right? And the second, I would say the bottleneck. I think that's the thing. If you engage B2B and you need like people to engage either virtually or in person, and that consume like the time. Like I had my co-founder and we reach out different partnership. And again, if we expanding more, meaning we potentially need to spend more time or we need extra people to engage these accounts because we don't want, okay, here's the tool, sign up. And we want take care of them and understand their special needs and how we can align the needs in a better way, right? Yeah. So I think on both, get a success story first, then we also need to prepare our people and to engage more when the time is ready.
How does Kindlewood support teachers and parents as co-creators in the learning journey of the children? I believe either you work with individual customers or the business. This could be one point maybe you need to consider, right?
High level, there are two things like how we engage with school. Number one, and we empower teacher as the creator, and like take my kids teacher as example, and they need to prepare the content, the learning material for the circle time, and they Google everywhere. But again, with the Kindlewood platform, and teacher can quickly turn the traditional learning thing into something fun, engaging, and more like productive, efficient. They don't have to like spend a lot of time Googling or preparing. And I think that's one, make the learning more fun. Also, teacher can be the creator and work more easier, productive. And second, we're working with school providing enrichment class or after school activity. And like I mentioned earlier, a school will focus on the discipline, on the literacy, the foundational, and bundled with some creativity-based program, which we can provide, and to kind of make kids kind of learn both and combine the literacy and the creativity and do something based on their curiosity, imagination, all kinds of different programs, right? So that would be another one. And long term, also I'm thinking the program can embed into the school curriculum eventually if school is open to bring more diverse topic, right? And then we can stay back. Otherwise, we do the enrichment program and we still need to provide our educator, our coach to the school. But long term, I think each teacher should be able to empower students and do all these activity and based on their own time, their own schedule. But high level, the content creation and also second on the enrichment program.
Previously, you have shared with me some surprising things that during the journey, like also your kids using this app. And I also noticed that like the behavior, motivation, creativity of the children augmented in a positive way utilizing this application. So what is your long-term vision, like how children will interact with the technology, either with your app or with AI augmented educational apps?
Yeah, I would talk about my vision. And so at the core, still curiosity and creativity. And the little kids have so much imagination, so much curiosity, but we have kids preserve the precious curiosity and they keep asking questions and they keep creating things. And what I mean, we also need to build a journey as kids grow and the right activity, the right program, and to meet their curiosity and creativity. And like kids at different age, they enjoy doing different things. Younger one probably like storytelling and we position storytelling for fun, but they also can build the confidence and the speaking, right? On the older kids, like 7 to 9 years old, and we did workshop last weekend, and they focusing on the creativity writing. Writing also such a foundational skill as well, and they design their own character, like 1 9-year-old, and just didn't want to stop writing. And we decided, okay, how about you make a chapter book? Okay, she's super excited. Okay, today I finished chapter 1. So next time she will come back, do the chapter 2, kind of, the Dogman, Captain Underpants, a whole series of comic book. I believe there could, more author coming out pretty soon. And but also some kids more enjoy on the 3D. So I'm also thinking for 7 9-year-old and introduce 3D modeling. And let's say here is a character you designed for your story. Let's bring the character into the real life for real, and they can think about how to break down the big character, for example, a dinosaur, and the head, the spike, and the tail, and the claw, and they can customize, they design more using the 3D modeling tool, and they print it out and kind of more customization, assembling, and as a real project. And even more like 10 or 12 years old, or even 7 years old. And some kids really like the technology. And I was thinking, kids love technology. They can use the tool to turn their idea into tech product for real. And like in the Kindlewood mobile app, you may notice there is a learning game section. There are 4 or 5 games there. 2 games are designed by my 5-year-old and 1 designed by my 3-year-old. It's 100% their idea. I mean, I twist a little bit, added the learning element, but the raw idea belong to the little one. And that's so far, and we are implementing, and they're super happy. I love pushing the box. One of the game is pushing the box. My 3-year-old, so the game is live. He's playing. He's commenting. The pushing box is so fun. He so enjoy it, and he want to make more. But again, as kids grow, and they can speak clearly, they can tap clearly, and they can build the game or the mini product on their own. So I'm thinking some like AI coding, like how we code, but we prepare an infrastructure, the pipeline underneath, and kids can build something and push into either the app store and publish, and they can share with friends and they can play, or something game related or something learning related. Yeah. So I think basically the core is creativity, curiosity, but as kids grow, we provide a different program to meet their growth journey.
In case that you have the chance to redesign education from the bottom up for the AI era, how would you design it, or what would it look like in your opinion?
I think we pretty much talk here and there already, but on the higher level, I would say a good balance between the fundamental literacy skills, versus what we can empower kids to achieve based on who they are, what they enjoy, and what they can learn to better prepare for the future. And especially the soft skills related, like a lot of kids are super confident already when they were young. I believe I was confident too when I was young, but I was put into a traditional education system, and everybody told me this is the right way to go. Okay, I go this way. I hesitate or scared of thinking other options, other paths, and I closed myself, only focused on that so-called right direction, and also not less confident. I was scared of speaking up, even high school. And so my point is, we need to give them the opportunity to truly be themselves, but not freely, with the right structure, the right guidance, right? To like confidence, resilience. I see so many kids and they fail, they're so frustrated, and there's so many graduates couldn't find a job, and they just couldn't live the life anymore. I mean, the resiliency is so important, especially in this world so competitive everywhere. And yeah, I hope the school, the future, will balance the fundamental, the soft skills, and also more think about what kids truly are. And yeah.
I really learned a lot from you during this podcast, and I wish every success for your startup, and also wishing your kids study everything very fast and have an amazing future. Thank you very much for joining the podcast. I hope that in the future, if you have something else to share with the audience, you can come back anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Steven. And I enjoy a lot. I can talk about my product, my journey on and on. And you can see I truly enjoy sharing. So yeah, hopefully we can see you in the future when product grow, or we have more information I can share. And also feel free use the product and let me know anything we can improve, we can incorporate.
Sure. Thank you very much. See you next
All right.
time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Mhm.
Thank you for listening to this conversation with Feifei Q. To support this podcast, please check my links in the description. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel, give it a like or comment. See you next time.